Hey everyone, Luke here from Bedford Camera and Video, and I've got the brand new Sony Alpha 1. So this camera is the new flagship camera from Sony, and it is an incredibly major powerhouse when it comes to the Sony Alpha series cameras. Now, this camera is a great kind of hybrid system between the Sony a7S III, the R4, and the A9 II. So this camera will really combine a lot of those great features into one amazing housing. Now, this camera is completely redesigned as far as the build construction and what it is capable of providing you. Now, the Alpha 1 has a 50 megapixel backside illuminated sensor. So that allows you to have so much resolution for your photos that you're taking. Now, the great thing about this camera is the fact that you can shoot full frame 50 megapixel images, but this also allows you to utilize a smaller resolution of 21 megapixels that will actually still use the entirety of your sensor, so it's not cropping in. Now, for those video users out there, this camera is insane. So this will allow you to shoot up to 8K 30 frames a second and 10-bit 422 4K at 120. This camera is also capable of providing you 4.3K 16-bit raw output through the full-size HDMI port. Now, as far as media goes with this camera, it has a dual CF Express Type A card slots, but those are actually dual card slots in themselves. So you can utilize either CF Express Type A for the most performance possible, or you can utilize any UHS-2 SD card. It allows you to either have one of each or two of each. And it is a fantastic system so that you can keep shooting throughout your day. Now, when it goes to the frame rate as far as your frames per second with photos, this camera boasts that it will produce up to 30 frames a second in electronic shutter. Just like you would see on the A9 II, that specific type of shutter mechanism allowing you to utilize an electronic shutter at a fast frame rate and still get very low warping. That same technology has been implemented into the Alpha 1 so that you have the ability to be shooting a full action shot at 30 frames a second. The mechanical shutter will also allow you to sync up to 1/400th of a second with your strobes or flash units compared to the traditional 1/200th of a second or 1/250th of a second. For those Sony users out there right now, you'll still see a lot of the great technology that you're used to, such as the in-body 5-axis image stabilization, 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi connectivity, as well as a 1000 base T Ethernet port for fast data transfer. This camera features a USB-C connection, which will allow you to either one, power the camera constantly, or utilize that for data transfer. When it comes to the EVF, you have a 9.44 million dot EVF with a 240 frames per second refresh rate. It also has 759 hybrid autofocus points, which allows for real-time eye autofocus. Now, that's a great thing about the Alpha 1 is the fact that you can actually select between a human eye, an animal eye, and even bird eye to be more specific. And it's such an incredible camera when it comes to the fact that it has no record limit on your video settings. So you can record as long as you have a charged battery and free memory on your memory card. This camera also has a tilting LCD screen that is touchscreen, as well as the new menu system that you're used to seeing in the Sony a7S III. And when it comes to low light, this camera is phenomenal. It has an expandable ISO of up to 102,400 ISO, which will allow this camera to get incredible shots in low light situations. For those of you shooting the Sony FX6, FX9, or the Venice, the Sony Alpha 1 will match beautifully, considering the fact that it has the ability to shoot Sony S-Cinetone, so that you have the same color space in all of those cameras. Another great thing about the Alpha 1 is the fact that it pairs with the Sony Imaging Edge software, giving you the ability to utilize the pixel shift technology built into this camera, and it will give you a 200 megapixel image. And you can get all of that combined into one camera housing that's 1.6 pounds for just under $6,500. To order yours, go ahead and visit us online at bedfords.com or visit your local store. I'm Luke from Bedford Camera and Video, and we'll catch you next time.